Welcome back. On the third day of the U.S. Democratic National Convention, President Barack Obama made his strongest case ever for why Hillary Clinton should be president and Donald Trump should not. Other powerful speakers followed that up by targeting Trump as a terribly unqualified leader.
Hillary has real plans to address the concerns she's heard from you on the campaign trail. She knows what's at stake in the decisions our government makes. What's at stake for the working family, for the senior citizen, or the small business owner, for the soldier, for the veteran. And then there's Donald Trump. Don't boo, vote. I know plenty of businessmen and women who've achieved remarkable success without leaving a trail of lawsuits and unpaid workers and people feeling like they got cheated. Our power doesn't come from some self-declared savior promising that he alone can restore order as long as we do things his way. We don't look to be ruled. There has never been a man or a woman, not me, not Bill, nobody, more qualified than Hillary Clinton to serve as President of the United States of America.
Next, America's sitting vice president and one that hopes to be ripped into the competition.
The threats are too great. The times are too uncertain to elect Donald Trump as president of the United States. Now, let me finish. No major party nominee in the history of this nation has ever known less or has been less prepared to deal with our national security.
Hillary has a passion for kids and families. Donald Trump has a passion too. It's himself.
Then a moving endorsement came from a congresswoman who survived an assassination attempt by a gunman.
In the White House, she will stand up to the gun lobby. That's why I'm voting for Hillary.
Clinton will accept her party's White House nomination tomorrow during a speech to end the convention.
Donald Trump kicked up another controversy after he called on Russia to find Hillary Clinton's deleted emails. Clinton's campaign is outraged that a presidential candidate is encouraging Russian espionage. At a press conference, Trump called it ridiculous that Russia was being blamed for hacking into the Democratic National Committee's emails to prove the party rigged the primaries in favor of Clinton. Then Trump was asked if he was behind the hacking because of his alleged admiration for Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump laughed it off by challenging Russia or even China to find Clinton's deleted emails.
They don't.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press. If Russia or China or any other country has those emails, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd love to see them.
In South Korea, a group of college students had to be dragged by police while protesting against a Japanese foundation to support comfort women. The protesters burst into a room and ran to the stage moments before the official launch of the foundation in Seoul. They insist the victims should receive proper compensation and denounce their own government for receiving money from the foundation. Police scuffled with protesters and had to drag some of them out of the room. Seoul and Tokyo reached a landmark agreement to resolve the issue of comfort women. In it, Japan promised more than $8 million to help victims. Pope Francis stumbled, literally, during his visit to Poland today. The pontiff tripped and fell during an open-air mass. Francis was not hurt and continued with the service. He's on a 5-day trip to Poland for World Youth Day, a global gathering of young Catholics. Poland is a predominantly Catholic country.
According to data from Japan, Hong Kong has the highest average life expectancy for men and women when compared with the rest of the world. Japanese women are now down to second place after occupying the top spot for 3 consecutive years. Caleb Leung has more.
Japan's Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare recently released the 2015 figures of men and women's average life expectancy around the world. According to the figures, Hong Kong women have an average lifespan of 87.32 years, bringing them to the top of the list. Japanese women had occupied the top spot for 3 consecutive years since 2012, but dropped to second place last year with a lifespan of 87.05 years. Meanwhile, Hong Kong men's average life expectancy of 81.24 years is also the highest in the world. As for why Hong Kong people have the longest lifespan, this woman, who is in her 60s, shared some of her insights. She said eating a bit less of everything, just like a picky eater, helps her to maintain a slim body and live a long life. A geriatrician believes that Hong Kong having the most advanced medical technologies in the world may contribute to longer lifespans. He also said hospitals with emergency services being easily accessible anywhere around town may be another contributing factor. Caleb Leung, TVB News.
The government plans to launch its food truck pilot scheme by the end of this year. Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Gregory So says the authorities are open to changing the law to keep up with the needs of the food truck industry. Winna Wong tells us more.
Food trucks may begin to appear on the streets of Hong Kong by the end of this year. On a radio show this morning, Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Greg So said he is excited about the food trucks. Not only will they boost tourism, but I think they will also be popular among locals too, he said. As part of the food truck pilot scheme, the government invited the public to join a cook-off challenge earlier this year. The 16 winners were selected yesterday, and their culinary creations are expected to be sold when the food trucks go into operation in various parts of the city. But there's still one more obstacle to overcome. They need to apply for a food truck license, which is valid for 2 years. For now, the government has no plans to change or add to existing food safety legislation. But So stressed the authorities will be keeping a close eye on how things play out during the pilot scheme and see if there's any need for laws specifically related to food trucks. On the topic of tourism, So added that things are looking up in terms of the tourist numbers so far this month. During the first half of July, there was a more than 5% increase in the overall number of visitors. Hong Kong saw a 3.5% increase in mainland tourists, but it was international visitors who took the top spot, an 11.3% rise.
It's too early to say whether that would create a new trend. It's quite a positive sign. I hope this momentum will continue, and I hope the food truck, when it's implemented, will add into the fabric of the attraction that we offer to our tourists.
Winna Wong, TVB News.
All right, Chris, all this talk about food trucks is making me hungry, but we have sports first.
Yeah, let's get down to business. In South American football, Atlético Nacional of Colombia celebrating after winning the continent's premier club competition. Tony Sabine with details.